So today I wanted to show you one of the vines that is just beginning to come into the best time of the year for it, and that is the American Bittersweet vine. Now this is a Native American plant. It is native to the eastern part of the United States, and we can find it in Oklahoma in certain areas, and it is a very nice vine. Now this is a deciduous woody vine. It'll lose its leaves here fairly soon, and you can see they're already starting to turn yellow, and they turn yellow before they drop off. Now the bittersweet vine, which is Celastris scandens, actually has a kind of a rounded leaf to it with a little bit of a point at the end, and during the summer this is a nice kind of a shiny green color. But right now it's getting ready to turn yellow, but that's not really why we would grow the vine. The actual reason to grow this vine is because of the fruits. And here you can see we've got a few of the fruits on this vine, and they look a lot like a little bitty pumpkin. And they're nice bright orange, but what's going to happen here pretty quick is that all of these fruits are going to open up. And I actually brought some to show you here of what they look like after they open up. And these are very useful in flower arrangements. That's a lot of times why they're grown. They're highly prized for that. And you can see as the fruits open up to reveal the berry inside, they are a very pretty fruit. And especially after the leaves fall off, you can see these fruits very well. Now the American bittersweet, which is native, actually has its fruits in clusters on the ends of the branches. There is also an oriental bittersweet, which was imported and used in landscaping. However, it has escaped in the eastern part of the United States and has become somewhat of a noxious weed because it is such a strong grower. Now, the American bittersweet is a little less rambunctious. However, it still is quite a vine. It can grow quite a bit in a season. Now, here we can see that the fruits are on the ends of the branches. With the oriental bittersweet, the fruits would be lining the stem, and so that's how you can tell the difference if the fruits are clustered here at the ends. Here's a good example right up here. You can see how all the fruits are clustered up here at the end. Our oriental bittersweet would have them dispersed on back here. Now as we look at this, again I said it was a woody vine, and you can see here its twining habit. It basically climbs by twining around other things. Now this is a very good vine for a strong arbor or a fence or over a rocky area. But you can also see here, you could grow it on a trellis, but you need to have a really good support. And back here, you can see that we actually have a metal pole in the ground to support this plant. Now you don't want to let the bittersweet climb on trees or shrubs because it is such a strong twining grower that it can actually strangle those trees or shrubs. So be sure if you plant this that you train it on a support and not on another plant. Now it can get to be about 20 feet tall, and it does have a little bit of a tendency to sucker, but you can actually sever those from the plant at the base and remove those and keep it in bounds. Another way that you can keep it in bounds is to prune it back severely in the spring. Now this is good for two reasons. One, it'll keep it under control, and two, it actually flowers and fruits on new wood. So you'll have better flowering and fruiting if you prune it back every year. You can also prune it some by collecting some of your berries in the fall, and you want to collect them just right around our first freeze after they've opened up, and bring them in and let them dry, and these will actually last for quite a while in arrangements inside. This set of branches here that I have is actually about 2 years old, and you can see that it still has very good color on it. Now one other thing about this vine, it is a dioecious plant. That means it has male flowers on one plant and female flowers on another. So you'll need both of them to get the flowers and the fruit on it. Now another thing about the fruit is they're wonderful bird food. So the birds love these, and they also make a nice plant for us in the fall. They're very tolerant of all sorts of soil types. The only soil type that they really don't like is a boggy soil that stays permanently wet. But if you've got some space and you've got a sturdy trellis, you might think about planting a couple of bittersweet in your yard.